What is up, everybody? Does anybody else like, Rod, you've been on a lot of these. When it gets to 10 seconds, do you get like a slight amount of anxiety on the countdown?
Oh yeah, the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole 30, not the whole, just the last 10, the whole 30.
I've improved. I'm now only the last 10 seconds. So.
Oh man, what's that like?
Well, welcome in, everybody. We have two, I guess, newer faces to most of you on the live. So we have Mundell on our team, and then Justin, who is one of our clients who's built an awesome business. And so we get to interview him. So welcome into you both.
And just for clarity's sake, people are like, who?
Did I say
Mundell? Nicole. She goes by her last name, so we all call her Mundell. So if you like want to call her Mundell directly, perfect. If you ever hear me refer to someone named Nicole, she is also Nicole as well.
It's to the point where it was a little bit when you first, I said she, like, you're not here, Mundell, but when you first joined the team, I was like, I don't know if that's like the people that knew you before call you that or everybody. Anyway, so I'd bounce back and forth, but now I'm just committed to Mundell. So anyway, Justin, thanks for being on here. I'm going to give you like a quick intro, and then I'd love to just dive into it with you. So, and if any of this is untrue, correct me. But you found out about us a while back, I guess, 4, 5, 6 months ago, somewhere in that range. You were injured in the hospital because of something that a bull did to you, from my understanding. And then you found out about this while you were in the hospital. You started working with us and coaching about 4 months ago. Fast forward 4 months to April. You're at 8K, on track for potentially a 10K month. So that's kind of the background. Is that about what happened?
Yeah, you nailed it. Mundell actually was the OG that kind of introduced me to the REPP community. So it's cool that she's on here with us. But yeah, I'm a talker. So y'all got to like slow me down if I go off.
No. So what, first of all, so you were bull riding, I imagine. You got hurt and you're in the hospital. Is that how that happened?
Yep.
Okay. And then did you want to be in real estate media, or like what were you thinking about starting a business, or how did this first happen?
Yeah, we'll zoom back just a little bit. So my background has nothing to do with photography, cameras. I had never turned on a camera until I joined this program. There was nothing in my brain that was going to take me here. And so out of college, chemical engineering, did that for 2 years. I was a director of operations for 7 for an education tech company. Last July, knew I wanted to do something entrepreneurial, knew I wanted a new chapter in my life. And it's unrelated, kind of sounds like a midlife crisis. I promise it wasn't. I'm just a kid from North Carolina. You go to rodeos growing up. So I decided to go ride a bull. So I rode the bull for about 2 seconds. And then his name was NATO. He rode me for a second. So it took a nice 1,800 pounder to the chest, 7 ribs, collapsed lung, couple surgeries. It was sketchy for the first 2 days, but I was in the hospital for 25 days after it was everyone, when I got to the OR, was like, how'd you get hurt from a mechanical bull? It's kind of a sissy story, you know what I'm saying? Then it revved up, so I got the street cred. But I was in the hospital. You watch the same Sports Center 2 or 3 times. By the 4th episode, you're like, I need something new. I didn't know where I was going business-wise, if I was going back to education, if I was staying in business. And it was crazy. It was one of these. You had a compilation back, this is August of last year, where it was like 5 hours worth of videos of this that you'd put together. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't walk. I had nowhere else to go. And I was like, this Eli guy seems pretty dope. So I just went through them all. Like, I think it was Tyler from Myrtle Beach, I think was one of them. You were in Miami for a few. Like, it was, and I always loved business. It wasn't photography necessarily that I was like looking to get into per se, but I love the relationships you were building. I love the client part of it. So that's kind of long story of from a hospital bed to here today has been pretty
Wait,
cool.
Mundell, did you know the bull? Did he come into your first call? Like, so you asked him his background. He's like, bull.
Oh,
did you know this? I didn't know the bull. This is new information. This is interesting.
Yes, he's like, I love skydiving. I went skydiving and then I went bull riding the next day or a week later or something. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
what a segue to real estate media.
Yeah, here we are. We had to get the background. Unique background. We can't just like gloss over it too fast. Anyway, so that gets us to, I try not to make these just like, the goal is not to get on here and have you just talk about coaching. Like, people know that we offer coaching. And I'm not saying avoid it, but like, I want to know what about you in the framework that we create in the coaching program help make you successful. So like, let's talk about when you first joined, right? What had you work with us instead of do it on your own?
Yeah. Well, first of all, if I did it on my own, man, I'm in trouble. Like I didn't even know what a like, if you still ask me today, 4 months later, what aperture means, I'm like, dude, nope. Yeah. I don't have
just know it's 9, you know?
I know it's 9. I know it's 9250 ISO, which stands for in search of help. Like I don't know what ISO actually stands for. So, for me, it's like this gave me the tool set that I need on the photo side. But at the same side, like I love people. I love fun. I love energy. Customer acquisition is like Instagram method. I might be the one weirdo. Like I love the Instagram method. I think it's the most fun thing ever. And I think that's what drew me into this. It wasn't even the photo. I'm like, wait, you can just go make friends with like 200 new people. And, I think that's kind of what started that journey, right? Is I've always got this thing. If it makes sense to you, it can make dollars for you. And this business just made sense. I'm like, yeah, like it's, required, repeat, and referral. Like I get that. I understand the skill set. So it all kind of like lined up a little bit, Nicole or Mundell, my bad. If we go back to like the OG call, I told her, I was like, we were running out of funds, lost the job. We had the IRS bill going. My wife's also an entrepreneur. We had a CFO that stole money from the business, never filed the taxes. So we had a $120K, IRS bill over our head. We're pulling retirement. We're rebuilding my wife's business. I didn't have insurance when I was in the hospital. So you have a $250,000 medical bill. So when I came to Mundell, like I have no choice but to make this work. I'm like, I will literally go bankrupt before the 6 months is up, So it was very much like a have to do it. And I think that's what excites. Like, again, like I love skydiving, I love the adventure. But the business side made sense. And then, dude, you get in with the community. I rep Team Karen for life. Like, Karen is my girl. And the people I've met on that team, like I was texting, Jeff and I texted Wilcox, Moeen, Phil Belfont, Ryan Johnson. Like I'm probably Cameron Northcutt was the first person I talked to. He actually lives in Kentucky where my wife's from. So we call all the time. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna shut up. But the whole point being is like it was made the business sense, and then the people was dope. I'm like, I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for that. First of all, I do enjoy that we get to have the community we do, and I agree that it's awesome. But obviously, I'm a little biased in that sense. That being said, something you said is really important, and I think it's a common theme that we hear on these lives, which is. Yours is, a pretty strong example of it, of like you had to make this work, right? I guess what would your and I know it's kind of maybe a different question, but like what would your advice be to someone who has more comfort and doesn't have to make this happen? Like you don't want to tell them to make a deadline and like put themselves in a bad position, but I guess how important was that to you, and what would your advice be to someone?
Yeah, make a deadline and be whatever you said, like rinse and repeat. That's it. I think everyone's different. I know Kevin, I think from National Media Co. quit his job pretty early on. I think for me, I got paid. I was a director. It was super comfortable. I think I got complacent, which is actually what the main problem was. But I think for this, like, I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, if you live to be 80 or 90, right? Like 6 months can change everything for you. So I'm like, why wouldn't you go all in on it? I see people that are half in and half out. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, I knew for me, I'm like, if I just nose to the grindstone this for like 6 months, my whole life will change. And 4 months later, my whole life has changed. Like, give me 2 more months, And so I don't think it's a necessity, but I do think, you got to count the cost. Like, are you actually willing to go all in? And I didn't really have a choice, but it's a fun game I sometimes play. If I didn't get injured and I still came across your videos while I still had that job, I just think like it made so much sense to me. Like every part of everything you talked about, like it didn't feel fake. I'm like, no, this is a real business and there's other people. And again, Mundell knows this. Like I was like, hey, give me 3 people that aren't part of like the REPP full-time team. So she connected with like 3 people who had been in the program. I called, and Cameron Northcutt from Lexington. I called, was like, hey man, like give me the rundown. Like, is this Eli guy for real? Like, what's the situation? And and that's what I told Mundell. I was like, anyone can come to me and I'll tell them like, I'm so thankful and blessed. And it just, anyone watching this or like finds this in a hospital bed, I'm like, you got to make the jump. So I don't know. For me, I think I still would have done it regardless. I think for me, I had no choice. But even if I did, just learning about it, I'm like, why wouldn't you? I don't know. That's me.
Can I?
Yeah, go for it.
I was going to say on that note, I remember you saying to me, Justin, that you could go back to corporate. You were like, I have people knocking at my door. Like I could go back. I could stay comfortable. I just don't want to. That doesn't feel like soul filling for me. So I feel like to like devil's advocate, that is you could have done that because that was the easy, soft, comfortable way, but your like soul needed more. And I always thought that was really cool to see you kind of go that route instead, because I talked to lots of people that do kind of get stuck in that comfort. Can you talk on that a little bit? Like what was like so pulling into taking the jump?
Yeah. Come on, Mundo. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know. Like I live for fun. I know that's such a kindergarten, elementary thing. So I tell all these realtors, like I'm just trying to make some homies. Like I'm trying to go grab some coffee with some people and just kick it and go surf with these people. And so I think for me, it's like I did the corporate thing. I did the engineering. I did the director, and I enjoyed it. And who knows, maybe 20 years from now, like maybe I go back into that if the right situation came up. I don't know. But it's just like for where I was, it's just, I don't know. I just felt like in a weird way, like my soul needed an adventure. I was like, how fun of a story is this going to be to tell? You know, like, I don't know. I'm extroverted, but I'm also like, my wife and I go to bed at 8 and just read books next to each other. Some people have the recliner. I got my rocking chair on the porch and I live for it. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, I can't wait to be a granddad and be like, y'all, I did not know how to turn on a camera. You know, my wife's like kind of an influencer. Like she's got the gear. That's who I stole the gear from. Cause I was like, I don't know how to turn on a camera. Like she's like, we have a Canon 80D. I'm like, I have 80D. Is that what you said? She's like, no, 80D. I'm like, close enough. And I don't know. Like, anyways, to your question, Nicole Mundell. I don't know. I just think like I needed a new adventure, and I saw how fun this could be. That it wasn't scary. It wasn't all scary. Of course, there was fear and newness to it, but I had as much fun I saw the fun from the beginning, and that's just what I chased.
So, okay, speaking of fun, because you mentioned this earlier, like a lot of people will basically go, Eli, yeah, I know the Instagram works, but like they can't motivate themselves to do it because they think it's like so boring. But you said earlier that you thought it was fun. Talk to me about that. Like, what is that? How did you make it fun? Because I don't think on itself it's fun, right? But like something about, was it the game of it or what did it for you?
So this is where my monologue starts. So just cut me up at some point because I love this stuff. My background, right? So I was a director of operations. It was for an education tech company. So my previous career, more or less, was getting high school students to respond to me via text. It was an online mentoring program. We worked with 44,000 kids across the country. I had 130 direct reports. I got burnt out from having 130 employees, but my whole job was teaching them how to get high schoolers to text them back. So I already had the skill set. So for me, that's why all of this just made sense. I'm like, you know, something, and I just kind of adopted what I trained on into this, but it was like, you can smell the sell. So if I come in like, hey, it's Justin, I'm a new photographer. I'd like to, you know, like it's the same phrasing, but it's the heart posture. I literally am just messaging people like, dude, you want to grab coffee? Like you want to like hang out and kick it. And I think like, I just try to bring that energy, and it's not forced. It is how I am. And I don't think everyone has to be this way to be successful. Not at all. It's just for me, like here's the perfect example, right? There was a guy named Bradley, he's a realtor, and he posted a photo of him playing basketball. And I played club basketball at State. So of course I'm gonna trash talk this guy, but I'm not gonna do it in his DMs. I did it in the comment section so everyone else could see it. And I was like, if I beat you in basketball one-on-one, I get to be your photographer. Now he never responded, but like that was just fun to me, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, I got crazy stories. I drank bourbon with a homeowner after Friday. I'm 17 months sober, but my wife's from Kentucky, so we brought him bourbon. We just kicked it. I went to a concert with a homeowner. Surfer Girl, a reggae band, was in town. I shot for him Friday. He's like, hey, I got extra tickets. I'm like, I got extra time. Let's do it, Roberto. And so Brokers Open, I did a Berkshire Brokers Open. That was the most fun. I probably dropped way more money than I dropped $700, but we had a party. My friend Harriet has a coffee cart. I was like, the girl Rhonda who like helped me coordinate it, she's like, you know, if you could bring bagels or coffee, that'd be sick. I'm like, no, Rhonda, we finna have a party. It's a Tuesday. And so I literally roll up with my friend Harriet. She's got a coffee cart. My friend Danny owns Cakes by DC. She made Berkshire Hathaway cupcakes with the logo on it. And it was like everyone gets a free first photo shoot with me, as a lot of people in rep do, because it works. But you know, it's like what I did is, you know, it was a red velvet cupcake and it was bomb cupcakes and it was vanilla icing. So I was like, everyone here is gonna bite in. Everyone's got vanilla icing. You get a free first photo shoot. But if you bite in and you get a blue frosting, I'm gonna upgrade you to a pro package with Zillow Tour and Drunner, all this. And I'm like, on the count of 3, we finna bite the cupcakes. We count down. I dabbed up the broker in charge like mid call. It was so random. And then they bite in. This girl, Kaylin's like, I got the blue one. And I'm like, pro package. And then what's crazy is a girl named Lauren's like, wait, mine's yellow. What did that mean? I'm like, you know what's better than 1 surprise? 2 surprises. I'm like Willy Wonka in this thing. And I'm like, you get a pro package plus a social media reel. So that's, again, all over the place. But that to me is why this is so fun. Is like the business will happen. You know, if you have fun, the money will come. So it's like, as long as I'm enjoying this, and now I'm in forward with Brad and he's been incredible. And that's what Brad and I talk about. Like, how can I still have fun? How can I scale this but never lose the smallness of it, you know? So I don't know.
That's incredible. Yeah. I mean, I think a couple things that stand out to me. I think energy is pretty transferable. So if you're like, I mean, I would imagine, you know, you're at least some format of like you are now. You're excited, you're friendly, you know, and that translates to other people where they want to be around that, right? So I think that's like a huge thing. And so just like you said with the cupcakes, like that's crazy, but obviously it works, right? Like that sounds like a great time. And like no vendor has ever done that to them. So at least you're going to be remembered, right? But the other thing about it, I think you said, you know, people can smell the sale. You obviously you want this business to be successful, but your way of doing it is not like a give and take thing. Like, I think you kind of approach things with an energy that like both people can do well. And so you're like bringing a ton of fun. If they book you, you're going to do really good work for them. They're going to get good results from that. So you kind of have that like, you know, go giver type energy, which I think is great.
We called it heart. I've never heard it said like that. You said heart posture.
Yeah.
Explain that a bit more. What do you mean by that? It seems like it's like being genuine, not for tactical reasons, but being genuine because it's just fun and the right thing. Like, explain what that means.
No, you nailed it. Okay. So not to go down like too weird of a tangent, right? But like, let's say
go down it, please.
I live in the weirdest. Let's go
those tangents. I'm gonna join you in there. Come on.
But like, for me, it's if I give something to a friend, and I'm doing it with the anticipation that they then owe me something, and they're gonna give me something in return, right? You can have the same action. The action is the same, giving something to somebody. But the heart posture is I'm giving it to you because you're going to owe me something. The same action, but now the heart posture is I'm just giving it to you because like I just want to. And I think that's the same thing is like my DMs, I guarantee that if you look at the DMs that everyone else is sending, mine's like 90% the same. Like I might tweak a little bit. I throw crazy emojis in there, y'all. Like the ghost emoji, I just started throwing that in. I don't even know what it means. No, that's it. Like, well, realtor asked, what's the ghost emoji mean? I'm like, I don't know, but I got you to respond. Isn't that fun? And so for me, it's just like the message is the same, but I really like, I don't have the time or the energy to be fake. Like that just seems like a lot of work. I'm just like, I really want to be your friend. I had one realtor come out and invite me on like a boat party. I'm like, I've been on a boat twice. I live at the beach, only been on a boat twice. So I'm like, that sounds fun. Check this out. And then I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna come back to heart posture because Rod, I'm all over the place per usual. But the Berkshire presentation, right? Like all the realtors posted about it. It was so much fun and all that. 2 people from Remax reached out to me. It's like, hey, can you do a brokerage presentation? I've shot for 0 Remax people.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I was like, the only way I'm gonna do it is if we do it at lunch because I want to do a luau party. I want to bring a carne asada tacos. I want to bring a taco truck. Like we go like, anyways. But I think that like Rod, to your point of it's the same action. And I think it's, you know, Mike from Knoxville, right? When the rep conference last year, he's the first one that kind of dropped that seed in my brain of like, I don't want people to go back and be like, oh, it was very nice. You're very polite. Like, I'm like, what just happened? And that's my brain on this is I'm not in the photography business. I'm not even in the people business. I'm in the what the heck just happened business. And I think like that just feels fun, at least to me.
No, I mean, it's fun hearing it. I've been smiling this whole time, you know.
My jaw hurts. I'm mad. I can't stop.
I don't even remember everything you said, but it was good, you know. I mean, okay, so one specific.
He says, I loved how you put it. You can do something nice. It's the same action, but it's the expecting the give back. And you just do it just to do it. If I get something back, great, but it's not the goal. And once that is truly felt, it's such a blissful feeling. Yeah. But it's also, when you don't expect it back, it comes back 10x usually. And it's like, whoops, great, but it wasn't my goal, but thank you. You know, so that's a great way that you explain it there. I love that.
Well, I think you also see a lot of the stuff you do is going to be, said or done, the same way. But you add on a lot of stuff too that I think makes a big difference. So, a lot of people, they hear you talk about like the fajitas or whatever you were bringing to that event, right?
I was like, he made 10 grand this month in his 4th month, but I think he spent 15 grand on like taco trucks. Yeah. So he might be in the negative.
No, that's the exact concept is like, you could have just shown up with the donuts, but you're like, how can I take this farther? And what most people are doing is they're thinking like, oh, I could just do the donuts. That'd be cheaper than the coffee. And like, I'll do that. And it's like, I understand everybody has financial consideration. You can't just like go spend $100 grand to win one client. But at the same time, it's just, I think it's thinking of everything through the lens of like, is this ROI positive versus like, this is going to be great and we just got to do it kind of thing. And you have a lot of lean towards that.
Sorry, I got excited. I just cut you off.
No, go for it.
It's like, it doesn't have to be always money. It could be like you've done research on them and you create something meaningful to them. And it's very so there's a lot of thoughtful angles too that you can, if the heart is pure, it'll figure it out. Times in my life where I feel like I can't figure it out is I might just not be in the right headspace. But times it feels natural. It's because it's going through that lens. So I think it's just that purity there creates the lane that you go down that is, I don't know, I'm gonna sound like Tony Robbins here soon, so I'm gonna stop. But that's just, I love the way you put that. It's a good way to look at it. Yeah. Mundell, did you get these vibes from him in y'all's first call? Was it like you got on a call and you were immediately like, dude, you got to get in coaching right now? Like, what was that like?
I have so much to say on that. I don't think we have enough time, but
do it. Go.
Justin, I told you this when we talked a couple weeks ago. I was like, as soon as I got off that call with Justin, I literally put his name in the chat and was like, this will be a testimonial. Just saying. As soon as we onboarded you, it's like, mark my words, Justin will be a testimonial. And funny enough, I mentioned this before, but on our call, Justin had said, I will be a testimonial. I'll do whatever it takes to get there. And here we are. But I really wanted to say is that you gave yourself a deadline to November on our call. We had talked in November, and you gave yourself a year. You said, I'm going to give myself a year in November. And that's where I'm going to see if I've been successful. And I asked you, I said, what's success going to look like for you? How are you going to measure that? And you had said, if I can bring 4K home, that would be amazing. If I hit 6K, it's a moment for me, and I'll fly to BC and hug you. So just saying.
Hey, we're coming.
Get a flight to get out there. You got to go to BC now.
But no, in all honesty, like, super proud of you. I think it's so cool where you got to so fast. I would kind of love for you to talk on, I know obviously you've had fun with it and your goal is like making friends along the way, but truthfully, when you did set that timeline in your head or like that November deadline, like what was that thought process for you going on in there?
Yeah. I think a big part of it was like, I just needed to replace the income, like at the bare minimum, Cameron's my guy, by the way, like Cameron's my guy. Sorry, I just saw that pop up. Anyways, I think it was just like, we tried to negotiate with the IRS and it was like, you have 3 years to pay this off. And I'm like, well, I'll figure that out, and I've just always had that hustler mentality where I'm like, I will DoorDash, Uber, bartend, like we'll figure it out. I didn't want to go back to corporate necessarily, but I'm like, if I need to, we can. You know what I'm saying? For me, and I think this also goes, Eli, you kind of touched on this of like, you don't need to do spending $100,000 for one client, right? Like I at the same time, like, don't get me wrong, I'm very business oriented. It's numbers. My background's engineering. Numbers matter. So it's like everything does have, you weigh it out, right? And so for me, my thought process is this: if I can do 3 middle shoots a day, which is like my pro package, and there's 22 business days in a month, it's like it's $23,000 a month in revenue. Then you've got your costs and all of that. But I'm just like, if I drop $700 and 2 of them sign up, my money's back with 2 shoots. I'm like, that's a no-brainer. I'm like, well, I'm gonna drop $1,500 next time if I need to, because it's just like that one. I did that presentation for an hour. I've had 6 shoots. That was 2 weeks ago. I have 6 new Berkshire clients from that. I already paid itself off. So that's where I'm like, I don't know, like the math is just maths.
I mean, so you are thinking about it in that sense, and you're thinking longer than I think most people do in terms of how long it takes to get that money back. You know, like you kind of understand it. I heard somebody, I forget who it was, they said real estate media. It was when I was not first getting started. You know, I was more so like trying to commit at that point because I grew really slowly. But anyway, they said something to the effect of real estate media is like printing money, and just them saying that like changed my thought of the business because I started thinking about it. I'm like, it's kind of true because like you get one client and they just keep paying you over and over. Right. And so it's like, well, what would you be willing to give for a client? I mean, we have clients that have paid us, you know, tens of thousands of dollars since they started with us, maybe over 100 by now, probably, like from a single client, right? And so it's like, how much would I pay to get that client? I mean, a lot. And so it's kind of that thing where it's like fishing a little bit though. You don't know who that client is going to be. So you have to treat everybody like that. And then when you do that, you all of a sudden get a ton of clients. And so I think that's a really interesting way to think about that a lot of people don't say is like, you actually could pay, you know, a lot of money to get a client. It would be worth it.
But like you said too, it's also how I knew I was going to like rep from the beginning. Go Giver is probably my like top 3 favorite books. My other one, if you guys haven't, anyone in this chat, DM me. We're going to talk about it. Yeah. But Will Guidara's Unreasonable Hospitality, that book changed everything for me. Yeah. It's just, the dude gave away a hot dog. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a $2 hot dog, but it blew up his business in the best way possible is what I'm trying to say. And so the same thing for me, I went to an open house with a girl named Bex. I've never shot for Bex yet, but at the open house, we held a baby together. Like a family came in, dropped off their baby. I was like, I don't know how to hold a baby, but this is a child and we'll figure it out together. And Bex then like took a photo of me on her story, like, hey, this is Justin, came to my open house. Like we had not really known each other. And then from that, I probably shot for 5 of her teammates. I haven't even shot for Bex yet. I haven't done Instagram Method in a month. And I love Instagram Method. But it's like, I don't have time because people just keep calling me. A builder reached out today in Calabash, which is an hour on the South Carolina border. And they're like, hey, we found you. I'm like, how? This feels fishy, but take my money. Let's with it. And it's like, it's just happening, which I'm very thankful for. And I'm very blessed. And I don't take it light. Like I'm so grateful. But I'm also like, I like the Instagram Method. So now I hired a photographer. My wife has 7 employees. So I'm taking one of them to help me on the delivery side. We could talk on that. Like I'm so adamant about a team. Like that is what also got me most excited about this is, I don't know. I'm even scared to say this because I know that we're recording this. So once you say it, it's out there forever. But like I've run the numbers. And I've got an average order value in mind. I want to pay my photographer 6 figures. Like it maths, like it actually works. Mm-hmm. And we're not there yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm paying her like $25 an hour. Like there's a lot from here to get to there, but I'm like, but I see it, you know? And I personally, I don't say this for anything I do. I don't recommend it to anyone else because I'm just a freaking chaotic ball at all the times, but I'm having a ball. But like, I never wanted a VA personally, just because like, I don't know. There's a lot of people from my church. Like there's a stay-at-home mom at our church that I just like have such a heart for her. And I'm like, hey, like a VA $6 an hour. I'm like, if I paid you 14, you want to do this with me? And it's more fun to me because then I'm like, we can go like my photographer, Michaela, me and Hannah. I'm like, let's go get burgers after work or something. And a VA in the Philippines. Also, like I'm Filipino, so like I'll probably just hire my cousin one day. Who knows? But like when they're local, there's a team component. So I think that's why. Mundell, back to your question as well, like that scale, like I first knew within a year, I had to replace my income to take care of my family. Now my new goal is 41K because like 41K, I feel like I can have like a few photographers, an assistant, everyone's getting paid well. I want retirement for them. Like, I don't know. Like I just, that's what excites me the most now.
I was going to, and Mundell, if you have any more questions or things you want to talk about, please, but I just wanted to quickly ask you what you just mentioned at 41 is kind of the next goal. What do you see like big picture? I mean, you said team stuff, so you kind of like took the question before I could ask it, which is awesome. But what do you know? No, you're good. What do you want to do in the future? Like what do you see this thing becoming?
Yeah, man, I don't know. Like I've got big dreams. This is the Cyrus Media Co. is my DBA, my first business. I'm trying to like keep building that one. We do a 50-mile walk every year. It's kind of like a fitness festival challenge, raise money for philanthropies. That's like the biggest, that's just where my heart is mostly. To me, this just feels like, and I'm very so grateful like for all of it. But I just feel like this is somewhat like a cash influx that then allows me to go do the other stuff that I'm as excited about, you know?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Again, like, don't hear what I'm not saying because I'm having the best time of my life. But I told Karen from day one, I was like, if I never have to shoot a single photo, I'll be just happy, because the people is what I love the most. Like, I don't know what half of these words mean. And so I don't know. I think for this business, like, Three Palms Media with Colleen and Todd, like, I really resonate with how they pay their teams and how they take care of everyone. Like, that's very much like something I aspire to. I don't want this to be something personally where I've like I want to know every employee, and I want to know like every employee's like spouse and their kid, like I want that, which means like I'm probably not scaling out to like crazy amounts, but I'm like, if I had 6 photographers, a couple assistants, everyone's getting paid well, and we're revenuing out at $1 million a year, like, I mean, sounds pretty fun to me. I got another business that y'all don't even like. Mansion Fest is my 3rd business I'm trying to get off, and that's a whole party we finna have. So I got other stuff. And I know Jeff Wilcox talked about it, that real estate media was kind of like his training ground of how to be an entrepreneur. And that's kind of what it feels like for me as well, that this is a business I can keep growing with and scale and have fun, but it's teaching me the skill sets for other opportunities as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it. I mean, I try to, the way I think about it is it's a great business to do like $1 million a year in revenue. It's, I would say not preventatively tough after that, but it's like pretty tough to scale past that point. But I think the things you learn getting this business to $1 million a year is like a really great thing for whatever's next for you. Not that it can't be done. I mean, like Todd in our community, they do like $3 million a year, so it's not that you can't. It's just, I agree with that. I agree with what Jeff said too. It's a good way to learn, especially if you like business, because it's you learn all the stuff in a low risk way, which I think is cool. It's not like you have to like build a product and do all this R&D and hope it sells. Like, it's going to sell, so you get to work on everything else: customer acquisition, building a team, managing business. It's great. Yeah. What else? Do you have anything else in there, Mundell? You got to have something else written down. I don't know if you went over it all already.
I mean, I got pages, but my biggest thing I think I would just love for everyone to take away from this is just to have fun. Like, don't take everything so serious. And I think that's why, like, Justin and I just love our conversations, because you are just having so much fun, but the success is like the byproduct of that. And I just wish I could remind people that every day, to just not take everything so serious. If a client says no, whatever, laugh it off, go on to the next. Like, be creative, have fun, find a way to actually enjoy your business, and remember like why you start. You start because you want to enjoy it. And so I think that would be like the biggest takeaway of all of your energy and everything. I just love it. I don't know. I feel like my question's already been answered. I was curious of like the big picture plan. I was curious when I'm getting my hug, and I guess you're not quitting in November. So I'm happy to hear that too.
No, we're rocking. I think something, I don't know, like for y'all, but also, I mean, obviously anyone listening live or recorded or whatever, like, I think something that's really helped me to kind of get out. Again, don't hear this in a bad way, but this job can sometimes feel monotonous because a house is a house, the photos are the photos. So what's helped me with that is like, what's a way I can stretch my creativity? And so like, I'm telling everyone, like, y'all take this, run with it. This is not a Justin copyright. This is just Justin getting bored on a shoot one day. Like, I told a realtor this, the for sale signs, like how you put it out in the front yard, like for sale by Justin with this brokerage and all that. I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, if that was me, I don't have a dog. But when I walk in a neighborhood and I see like, some neighbors put out like a doggy bowl and like treats and water, I'm like, that's a good neighbor. That's a nice person. And so I told the realtor, I was like, I don't know, that's what I would do. And that's what she does now. Like, every time she puts a for sale sign, if it's close enough to her home or her office where she can go back on a weekly basis, and she's gotten 2 leads from that. And so it's like, I'm not a realtor. So many people are like, you should be a realtor. I'm like, I don't see an exit strategy, because I would never go to be a realtor. At least when I'm a photographer, so I've got an exit strategy. Another one, and this is another just random thing that came to me. I went to an open house one time, and realtors don't want to see you because you're not providing business to them. And I kind of felt awkward the first times. So I love Girl Scout cookies, because Girl Scout cookies are like the definition of the entrepreneurial spirit. Like, anytime there's a Girl Scout selling cookies, I have to buy 6. That's just, I don't know where the number came from, but it's half a dozen. So in my car, I literally rock around with Samoas, Thin Mints, and the lemonades. And whenever I go to open houses, I literally roll up and I'm like, look, my mama told me never to show up to a house empty-handed. Technically, this is the house. So do you want Girl Scout cookies? And it like breaks the ice. It's fun. But it's also like, I'm supporting the Girl Scouts and now you've got cookies. Let's be friends. So I think like for anybody, you know, it's just like myself included, for all of us, it's like, what is something fun? What is something creative that's gonna, I bring music to my vacant shoots. I literally bring like a speaker and I give my phone to the realtor and I'm like, put on whatever music you want, let's bop. And so I don't know. I just think like it's sometimes too easy to just sprint through it because like I got to get the clients, I got to do Instagram, and I got to get my, you know, all this stuff. But I'm like, dude, if you took 15 minutes a day of just like, what's something fun I can do today? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen Savannah in a while, and she's always at Social Coffee. So I'm probably going to drop by and buy her a coffee and say what's up. And then I'll go to my next shoot, you know? So I don't know.
The feeling there's a lot of Girl Scout cookies about to be delivered to open houses because you said that. So,
fun.
All right, time absolutely flew by. So do you have like 2 more minutes, Justin?
Dude, I got nowhere to be, man. Like this is the most fun part of my, like, I live for this. So
okay. So for somebody that's just thinking about getting started, you've talked a lot about, you know, having fun and how important that is. So feel free to say that again, but like, what would be your takeaway that you want people to have from, you know, listening to you and, you know, people that I think a lot of people are scared when they start their business, right? And so I think fun is a good thing to help, you know, it's like an antidote for that almost. But like, yeah, what's your advice to someone who's wanting to get started? They're kind of scared. They want to make this happen. Like, take it from there.
Yeah, you know, I think, like, I also want to be a realist in all this. Like, it took a lot of work, you know, and I think the fun allowed the work to not feel crazy heavy. But at the same time, like, I mean, it's been 5 months of, you know, you're up late. I'm still trying to get DMs out the door. I'm returning phone calls. So like, it does take work. And I think that's the thing with all of this is, you know, Mundo, when we talked the first time, we had our call. You shared about it. I'd done my due diligence when I was looking at it the first time and whatnot. And I was like, well, give me a week because I wanted to call Cameron and other people and I wanted to scout more. But I also wanted to like take inventory first. I was like, if I'm going to do this, like I got to do this. So this wasn't something that I saw this on a video, haphazardly jumped in and I was like, fun. It's like, no, it's always that saying to me is if it makes sense to you, it can make dollars for you. And I'm like, I need to sit with this and like, does this actually make sense? Okay. Instagram method, I've done it. Photography, I can learn it. Customer acquisition, I love it. Like I just slowed down the beginning. And once I decided to do it, it's immense action. Like doing coaching obviously is an immense action step, but at the same time, like, dude, DM people. Dude, I never canned a single message. Like I never like, hey, Adam, because one day it's cloudy and one day it's Thursday and the next is, you know, I'm like, everyone got a personal video of like, happy 2 days after Easter. Like, I don't know, you know, and I just think for that, it's like, it's going to take a lot of work. And if you don't know what you're signing up for, you will quit because you're going to think it's just all rainbows and sunshine. And it can be rainbows and sunshine when you've decided that before the sunshine is going to be flood and more flood and torrential downpour. But you say, hey, I like swimming. It'll be fun while I do it. So I think that's kind of my main takeaway is just if you really sit with this and you're like, I know I can do this, then what the hell are you waiting for, dude? Like your whole life can change. And I don't know, like y'all can throw my Instagram somewhere in here. I don't know. Like I love talking to people. So Mundo, put me on the list. If someone's like, hey, tell me this ain't a fraud, tell them to call me. I'll pick up the phone.
I will say you're one of the few people that literally phoned every single person I gave you.
Yeah.
He came back to the call and he was like, yeah, he's like, I talked to this person. And I was like, oh my goodness, you actually did. Like most times you give people numbers and you talk back and you're like, oh, how'd it go? And they're like, well, I reached out, but they didn't answer. Or, oh, I just like didn't have time. And Justin's like, yeah, I phoned all of them, had a good conversation with them. I was like, okay, great.
Well, and on top of this, and again, Rod, this goes back to kind of that heart posture thing. And I'm not saying you have to do this. And for me, please, for the love of God, don't actually do this if you DM me. But I'm doing their time, right? Like I'm using their time. So I reached out to the 3 people you gave me and I was like, hey, I know that you got a business. I know you're busy. I'll give you a $25 Starbucks gift card. Like, I just give me 30 minutes of your time so I can just like pick your brain. So
that's like, what did Mundle's like, wait, hold on. That's it. There you go.
Wait, I didn't
That's
get
the
a gift
secret.
card.
Yeah, you still haven't got a hug yet. You still haven't had a hug yet.
A gift card. It's all coming. I still message Mundle. I also realize like all y'all are like the same text. Like it's just one universal number. But I'm like, it's Nicole Mundle in my phone. So I was like, yo, Mundle, happy Easter. Hope you're doing good, you know? And
I love it.
Yeah. No, can I ask y'all one question before I go?
Just go for it.
Yeah, this would be for all of y'all. So I'm gonna just Mundle, you're to the right of me. So I'm gonna just go with you first, and we'll wrap however. But I'm like, what's been the most fun part of REPP for y'all? Whether it's like the business, like what has been like that was fun.
I think for me, it's like I talk to so many people all day, every day. And for me, it's getting to actually hear that their life has changed, or they have hit that goal, or they went on that vacation, or they got out of their own way. Like obviously being on the front end, we hear so many people that are just kind of in their own way, and you want to just like reach through the screen and be like, just jump. Like you want this, you'll do so great. And so for me, it's seeing like, I mean, even talking to you, it's like you literally you came to me with like 4 different things of like 4 different scenarios. Okay, so if I wait 5 months, if I do this, my wife's camera's dusty up there. I don't know how to like, and we got to just kind of like brainstorm, and here you are. You did it. You like went through our brainstorm and you came out the other side, rainbows and butterflies. Like it's like for me, I'm like that's what's fun. It's like seeing it back there, seeing that wins channel in the circle group, like. We look through that all day, every day, and also the connections. Sorry, I'm just answering for everybody right now, but watching people in there just connect with other people, like the community is everything for me. It's my favorite part. I can't say it enough. I talk about it mostly too much on all my calls, but it's because it's true. It's like it's people like you, and you get to talk to people that also are in the same industry doing the same things. So they're going through the same fields, or they're going through the same torrential downpours. And I just love watching everybody connect and come together. So that's my long answer for absolutely everybody.
What you have, Rod? You got something in there.
I mean, I can just say what Mundle said, but for me, no, it's more like just money, power, just total world domination, and just no, it's what she said. It's for me, it's the moment of which you talk to some, like just what Mundle said, literally what she said, but it's when you talk to somebody, damn it, it's literally what she said. But it's when you talk to somebody and you hear these deep desires that they want for their life, and there's that fear that it's going to happen. And like we could tell now at this point, like when someone comes into the call, it's like you're fitting it. You should be back there, and then to have the fears, and then to be like, and just to know it'll happen if you actually go and put in the work and put in the sweat, and then to see their names in the wins channel later, seeing what they're accomplishing, and then seeing other people being supportive of that person. And then just to have a good time, because they put a lot of trust in us, to move forward with coaching and to do this, and the time and the money and all of that. Mm-hmm. So it's meaningful to see them. This is probably an ode to the fulfillment team, but like to see how hard they work for people to get results and see those, it's just a comfortable place to be. And that's probably the moment. That's probably, if I can put on a scale, when I feel like the most happy is like when I get that, or when I get those texts when people come back. I have a big one from David Keogh that I need to read, that I got in last night. I still need to read it. I'm terrible at it. Thursdays are usually the busy day, but it was just about his life changing and about to leave his job, and it being a struggle at first, but overcame those struggles and is now about to replace his job. And those moments added up that just makes it almost like addicting, and to want to do it every day and to not stop. So it's where there's a lot of coaching programs out there that are maybe not as well as they would like to be, I would imagine. I don't think it's malicious. It's just, it's hard. It's hard to coach a lot of businesses. It's hard to be one business. It's hard to coach a lot, so where I provide coaching is extraordinarily important to me, that I am not leading people to their doom, but to lead people to posting wins and texting me later that this has changed their life. So literally word for word what Mundle said, people like you, Justin, that come in and really hit it hard. But just, there was a note from Karen February 10th in our Slack that's like, who enrolled Justin? Like, and it was just shouting out how like every call you go on, everyone's smiling like we have been the entire time. And it's just not that to see what you've accomplished, but the inspiration that you're giving people now, including myself and everybody else, commenting and listening, and just our students. That means a lot to me that the people I put back there are around people like you. So I'm gonna get emotional if I keep going, but thank you, man. Yeah, Eli's turn.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna kind of go off what you said, Rod, too. There's someone listening right now that's in a similar situation to you were, right? To you, Justin. Like maybe maybe it's not as dramatic as like literally laying in a hospital bed, right? But like they're gonna do something because you were willing to come on here. And so I really appreciate that. And also just for me to answer the question specifically, we got an email, and this, this isn't like a one-time thing, but there's one I'm remembering very recently. Someone sent an email basically saying that they now had, what was like a 40K a month business. It was some massive business, Rod. And anyway, I don't know if you remember the name specifically, but they said that it was like 6 years ago, we gave them access to an event or something for free. I forget what it was, because they couldn't afford it. And they were grateful, and they had sent the original email of us saying that. And I was like, I didn't write this email. It said thanks Eli at the end, and then I realized it was Aaron at that point. And so where I'm going with this is like, it's cool to build a team of people who just say the things that Rod and Nicole just said and mean it. And so I think for me that's been the most fun part to see. And he didn't have to use my name. I don't know why he gave me the credit, Aaron, when he wrote the email, but it was just like a cool full circle thing to see someone on the team be super generous and someone get a cool result. So thanks for asking us a question. That was different.
Oh, I got a bunch of them, but we'll do it another time. But
what I was gonna say is, you have to. I don't know if you're gonna be in rep for our in Vegas for our rep event this year, but if anything, you got to be like the first speaker up to get that room moving, Justin. That's what I can say.
I have nothing. It's this. I have gratitude. Like I'm so grateful that Mundell was like I know your whole team is great, but like Mundell was the first person I talked to, and like just made it feel so real. It's talking to Cameron, reaching out to, I DM Colleen from the hospital bed. I'm pretty sure I was like, hey, saw you on a rep thing. I'm in a hospital. I sent a selfie. I was like, you got to feel bad for me. Like sympathy points, please talk to me. And it's just like it freaking works. And it's not even necessarily like this business has to work. It's just like when you're around people that are encouraging you and you see their success, it's almost like I don't want to let them down. Like Cameron gave me 30 minutes of his time. So it's like, I tell Cameron every time we talk, I'm like, dude, I'm literally where I am because you gave me the confidence to say yes to Mundell, and it started with Eli and Aaron and Rod and all y'all finding the people you have. And so again, like y'all throw my DM, throw my Instagram, wherever, like I'll talk to everybody. Y'all come to Wilmington, guys.
What is it? Cyrus Media Co. Is it
Cyrus
just at
Media
Cyrus
Co.
Media Co?
Yes, sir.
That's easy to remember.
You're either about to get a ton of DMs or a ton of Starlight gift
400
cards.
people. I'm about to text that to you real quick.
I got y'all. But I don't know. I just like Mundell, I'm coming out. We're gonna kick it. It's gonna happen. I'm definitely planning to be there in Vegas. I love me some poker, so I'm in Vegas.
Listen, I'm gonna reach out. We're gonna get you to give a little. I'm not even gonna call it a warm up talk. You're just gonna give a talk. It's just gonna happen to be when everybody's tired, so you can wake them
He
up.
needs to be planted strategically throughout at the points where scientifically people get tired.
Yeah.
Just input Cyrus right in. Just inject them right in.
I was gonna say, do we need an MC still? Let's go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Don't give me a mic. Y'all be in trouble if y'all give me a mic. Is all I'm saying.
Okay, we give you
He's like, announce the next thing, and he's just going, oh yeah.
He's still going. He's like, one more thing. The whole conference. Anyway, Justin, I really appreciate you jumping on here and for not just your time, but your energy. I'm sure, like I said, there's somebody that's going to do something different than they would have before they watch this. And I think that's really cool. So I appreciate you. And it's going to be exciting to keep watching you grow. So thanks for being on here.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all. Catch up with y'all soon. Then, okay.
See ya.
Bye.
That was awesome.
Oh man.
Just love it.
I don't even know what to say after that.
I never know what to say after the interviews, especially that one. My goodness. It's like I got to marinate for like 30 seconds.
Yeah. So I got to like push this back down after smiling the whole time. Yeah.
My jaw actually, I think it's actually a problem. I probably should go somewhere. I think it's locked.
It was cool that you brought up and went back and looked, Mundell, about the message that he sent about like being on here. And like, that's not at all why he was chosen for this. I mean, everybody can kind of tell that, right? Like he's been really successful in his business. Like that's why he was on here. But I think that's not to take any like originality away from Justin, but like a lot of people say that and then they end up on here. There's a really cool story from like Colleen. There was a story from Justin. There was a story from who was last week? Why am I Emmaus? Like they said that kind of thing where it was like that was maybe Emmaus said. I don't want to put words in his mouth if he didn't, but like plenty of people say that, and it's cool because it gives them something to work towards. And not that we don't highlight all kinds of stories on here, but we highlight the ones that like really do a good job, right? So like 10K in 4 months. That's great. It's not, people have done it faster. Plenty of people have done it slower, but we like those stories because it pushes people. So I think when people say, hey, I want to be on there, it makes them push to do something that's above, normal. And I think that's pretty cool. So for everybody listening, like, you have to figure out what your goal is. Some people would love to just be on here, and that's an awesome goal, but like figure out what that thing is that's going to make you push really hard. And, that's what it takes to push through the times when it's not as fun. And I always tell people that like, you don't need motivation once your business is going. Like if realtors are calling, you don't need that much motivation to go to a shoot, but you do need motivation at the start when you're sending messages and no one's replying yet. And you're having to learn all this stuff that you're like, as Justin said, he doesn't know what aperture is. He just knows it's 9. And like, there's stuff that you just have to learn. That's like, man, is this really going to work? Is this actually going to happen for me? Like, I understand why Justin did it, 'cause he's like full of energy. I understand why any of the people have done it on here, 'cause they have different traits, but you'll notice they're not all the same. Like they each have different things. It's you have to figure out what your thing is so you can lean into it. So any other takeaways you two have?
I also think like really leaning into the community. Like you can tell he talks to people that are sitting in seats he wants to be in. And I tell people that all the time. It's like, don't be scared to network. Don't be scared to pick their brain. If there's somebody sitting in a seat that's where you want to be, ask them how they got there. Pick their brain, reverse engineer it. And that's exactly what he's done. And so I think it's cool also his goal of saying like, I'm going to be a testimonial. I'm going to be there. He also talked to people to get himself there. And I think that's really a valuable thing that's probably not talked about enough within the community. We have tons of people in there. So find your people.
Yeah. And he actually did it. That's the thing. He didn't just, like you said, he didn't just ask you for something at the start, right? He actually called them, and then he gets in the program and he makes friends and a genuine relationships with people in there, like you said, that are ahead of him. So it kind of pulls him up. Yeah. That's a really great point. Yeah.
I'm an equation, lately. Belief is, a big why creates the belief. Yeah. And then the belief from there, it's just the common trends with all of them is like that they say these, like it comes back to like a vision board. Like I see myself on that interview and they genuinely believe it. So that way everything comes through the lens of that belief. And so when people talk about manifesting and all that, whether we believe in that or not, it's pretty damn real at this point. And I'm a super numbers oriented person, scientific person, data driven person. And it took a long time for me in my life to get to that point of just manifesting and really believing in that, and not just believing it because you hear people say it, but just it's sinking into the soul. And it's like they're all visualizing what they want. And then they combine it with strategy. I mean, we can visualize what we want, but if we don't do the right things and around the right people, it's extraordinarily hard. But that visual of what we want combined with this strategy is just the equation of it. And it's just that belief relentlessly until it's in our hands. It's the common thing with all of them. Every single one we interview. It's just to see the equation in person. I know you're getting excited. I'm getting excited. We're going to cut it off.
It's like it's a bad combination when we're both going. We can't even get a dang word.
Like, hello.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of people, it's like kind of a charged word to say manifesting, right? Because everybody has like a different, like they have different understandings of what even people are saying. People mean different things when they say it. And so I think you can make it as mystical or as lack thereof as you want. What it means is to have something show up within you, right? And so it's like, I think if you're going to use that, like that's the definition. If you look it up, some format like that, it's like, okay, well, what does it really mean? Well, what would need to show up within me to be successful? It's like, well, I'd need to be hardworking, right? Okay, so there we go. I would need to not quit when it got hard. Like those are things that and that's where I think it makes it from like something that nobody can really understand what it means. It's like just believing it itself is not going to get you there, right? But if you believe it and you then really clearly think about what it would take to get you there and what traits you would need to have to do it, and then you just start working on this. It's like, of course it works, right? And I think the opposite's also true. If you sit there and go, it's never going to happen, of course it's not going to happen. And again, that wasn't mystical either. It was just the reality of it. Like you're not going to do the work if you don't believe it's going to pay off.
Mundell and I worked. Yeah, you can tell when I start going like this. I'm like, hold on. Mundell and I worked for someone a while ago that would call it their success character, of like you becoming the person and being and taking the action of which the person that you want to become, writing that out and doing those things. And it's that be it till you achieve it. It's fake it till you make it. And then I start, or you could say believe it till you achieve it, or you can also say be it until you achieve it. Be the person that you want to, be that's achieving that. And it's just the common trend with all of them. And you can just feel that even like Mundell and I on the first calls with people, they just have that vision, and you could tell that they will not stop until it's there. It's easier said than done to just have that relentlessness, but it's just, you submerge yourself around people that do, it becomes, and if you're around Cyrus in our group calls back there in coaching, as much as he's probably in every single one of them, there's 15 a week, he's probably danging every single one of them, but just being around one a week would make me want to run through a wall each week and send 4,000 DMs that the owner of Instagram would have to email me. I would get banned from it would be, it's just the different parts. And we went over it last week too, the different 7 attributes of the crushers, the common characteristics of the crushers. And he's obviously checking off every single one. So it's like, there's a formula here, and it's either you lean in on it. And if we're not sure what to do with each of those things, we will coach you gladly if you want that. So it's like, it's just follow the formula, lean into it, let it sink into your soul. If we're not feeling a certain way, go read the Go Giver. There's some remedy for that. There's a solution for that. If you know it, great. If not, find someone that does and lean in. Like Mundell says, if someone's in the seat you want to be in, you should be ABC. Always be curious. Be annoyingly curious, right? So I think that's just the biggest thing with everybody that we're interviewing. That, and he said I'm having fun, but he did what $5,000 his second month. Still doesn't know what aperture means. And it's tracking 10 grand this month, $5,000 his second month. So everyone's like, oh, fun is fun, but it's calculating dollars as well. So it's like, this creates that. And it's just, there's an equation there, and lean in on it as hard as you can. I don't know why this end up Tony Robbinsing all the time, but he's got me so fired up. I'm about to like tip my desk over. I think.
Atomic Habits. You gotta
That's a good one.
That's where all this is coming from. Atomic Habits.
It all comes back down to the Atomic Habits. I actually never read that book.
Oh, you really should. It's about being
one. Like it, Rod.
Now I want to read Unreasonable Hospitality.
Yeah, I read that, but it's been
multiple ones.
Yeah, I think the thing when you say it's a formula, right? They're like, there's these things, and then people go, well, I am not Justin. I can't be like that. The formula has nothing to do with being high energy. It really doesn't. Like, I mean, there's plenty of people in our community that are not high energy. When I grew my business, I'm not even high energy now. You think I am now? I was like terribly shy when I first started my business. I did not have nearly, so like that's not required. And there's plenty of people that are just like that started in this business. And so the formula isn't be outgoing and, wild in the good sense of the word. You don't have to be like that. It's just the things in the formula that are true are like, they work hard. They are willing to take a risk. They don't quit. And so it's like
give with zero thought of receiving. It's like, there's no reward for being nice is what I used to have drilled into me and in my family. There's no reward for being nice. So that you take out the expectation of a reward for the niceness. Yeah. And then once that's in, it's like,
still do it. Yeah.
You can be outgoing, introverted, doesn't matter. It's as long as that's purely there, it will be felt. It will be felt.
Consistent. That's the biggest thing. Everybody, they're all consistent. It's like they do the boring stuff because they have to do the boring stuff. And it's the like, don't get the shiny object syndrome. I say that to people every day. I get people come in that are like, okay, so I just need to buy this gear, and then I'm going to buy that gear, and then I'm going to buy that gear. And I'm like, what about getting clients? maybe getting clients first before we're upgrading gear, right?
Like 15 grand worth of gear, like they're going to put on a Netflix special.
Yeah. Like,
what are you doing?
The gear's not doing anything for you if you don't have any clients. So I think going back to like have fun with it, but also be strategic in your approach and don't get distracted.
Oh, to have fun. That's the thing. And he said a key thing there where it's like, if you do the same thing over and over again, the fun is doing it differently each time. So that's where that creativity comes in. And it's easier said than done to just have fun, but it's just, it is a habit. Atomic Habits. Shout out Atomic Habits. But yeah, it just comes back down to that every time. So should we start answering questions or something?
He didn't convince me that the Instagram method was fun. I still don't buy that, but that's okay. Everybody can have.
I thought you were sold for a second.
For a second, and then I remembered what it's like.
To me, Instagram method's like running on a treadmill. Like cardio is important, but I just find myself just wishing like I could just not be on a treadmill in that second.
Gym, he's on the treadmill in the gym, got the clapping to the rhythm. It's like a whole thing. All right, let's hit some questions. We got to get out of here soon, but we got to hit some questions.
What time is it? Oh, we're 1 minute over already. Okay, good. I saw a lot of questions. This is a good one. I love this question. What's your name, by the way? Home Exposure. You said it before. I'm sorry.
I got laid off 2 weeks ago. Just got all the equipment, have my LLC set up, but I'm not confident in my photo video skills, so I'm at a standstill. When you say you're not confident, do you mean you've never shot a practice shoot, or you've shot 10 and you're still not there? Like, what have you done action steps wise? Because I would say more often than not, people are too low on confidence than too high. And so my guess is that you can get clients and serve them well. Rod,
they asked earlier, how do you get over the worrying of not knowing the angles to take? So it sounds like a fear of just worrying that we won't do it right and that agent might not enjoy it.
The agent may or may not complain about your angles, and no amount of prep is going to change that. You know, if I've shot a ton of houses personally, if I go shoot a house, there's just a certain percentage of time where they don't like the angles. So it's personal preference. Sure, you'll get better, but like the only way you get better is by doing it. And so I would just say the biggest thing would be actually, you know, if you've done any
practice at home, yep.
If it's one practice shoot, don't practice at home until you think you're the best in the world. You know what I mean? Which you're never going to feel like that, by the way. You're always going to feel unprepared. So I would say the biggest thing for you have a deadline. I think you should probably get another job. Don't consider that the end of the world. Jobs can help you and make a pathway for you. So snag some work so you're not, you know, on a 2-week time clock. I don't know what your finances look like, but snag some work and then snag some clients. Really start reaching out and putting yourself in a position to actually get shoots would be my advice. If you have a little savings, you know, you got a little longer runway, maybe just heads down and grind out the Instagram method and see what you can do. But like, do something besides keep prepping. When you guys invoice your realtor at booking or delivery or some other time? Yeah, it depends on how you have it set up in your system. But when they book online, typically at booking, and then if we book them in the calendar, we do it at delivery. They can pay or be billed. But
that's one of the right. Shout out, Micah. Sorry, what were you saying, Eli? I was shouting out people.
Oh no, I had nothing else valuable to add, honestly. All right, pick one last one.
One last one.
Oh. Maybe I'll give you 2, Mr. Rod. If you find like
I can't. It can't never be one more. It has to be at least 2.
You didn't give him enough warning.
Yeah. He wouldn't have just picked. He would have picked like for 5 minutes the perfect question. All right, how can I balance a full-time job with REPP? Really good question. It's all about, you have to do the math on it. So you take, the amount of time you have available in a week, and you're going to start subtracting things you have to do. So maybe you work from 9 to 5 or 8 to 6, whatever your schedule is, right? It's like, okay, what am I doing after that? How much time do I have? Okay, add that up. What do I do on the weekends? Add that up. And then you get the total amount of time you have. And it's just a math problem of like, how much income do I need to replace my job? How many shoots can I fit in? How hard am I willing to work for, a short period of time to potentially change, the course of the rest of your life? And so it's being practical is what I would say. I don't know if your goal is to quit your job. I don't want to read into the question something you didn't say, but if your goal is to quit your job, or for anybody that's thinking along those lines, you have to do the math and see how much money you need as a step one. Do you need $6,000 a month, $4,000 a month, whatever, and then divide that by the number of shoots. So to do the math, if it's $5K a month, divide it by $250 a shoot, and that's going to give you, what is that, 20 shoots? Is that 20 or 25? I always second guess my math. It's not even hard math, but anyway.
You say 5 a week?
5 a week.
Yeah, so 5 a week, so 20 total, right?
Carry the 2.
So then you start going, okay, well, can I fit 3 shoots in on a Saturday? Absolutely, right? So if I do that every weekend, there's 12 shoots gone right there, and I just need to do 8. So not to just do the math over and over again, but like doing the math is the first thing I would start with.
No, and to give some comfort, like I would say most people that go into coaching here do have a full-time job that they're looking to scale out of. It's safe to probably say that, and it's all, you can always make it work. And anyone we talk to, that's just ways of getting creative. And what I have found is time is quite relative in the hands of the person. It's just whatever it takes is usually the best answer, and it's usually what we'll find. So,
but don't think you have a situation that's going to prevent you from doing this. Like Rod's saying, most of the people we work with they have a full-time job. Most people don't just have this huge pile of money and no work in front of them. Like most of us aren't like that, right? We have to do that. And so
this is the second part 2 of the same question.
Are clients usually okay with weekend only shoots? I mean, a really good question. The answer is no. They're not always okay. But the good news is you don't need very many clients to make the transition. So sure, you're not going to be able to win every client if your availability is only on the weekend, but you don't need every client. You only need a few, to start replacing some of that income, and maybe you can, reduce hours. I don't know about your job, but the answer is no, but it doesn't matter.
So that one was like, it was one question, but it was 2 separate ones. So I cheated there. So this is the last one.
Should I start getting clients before LLC is made?
And I believe he went to The photo workshop, right? Hold on. Okay, no, answer and I'll verify before I start saying wrong things.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold on, or I took a
No,
second.
sorry,
Back on the second part. Yes, I got you. Okay, so I mean, there's a couple things I would say about this. Making an LLC is like a 25-minute task at the most. So if you don't want to make your LLC for some other reason, like you want to, I don't know, right? Like you don't want to pay the fee to start it or whatever, then sure, you can get a DBA in most areas for like $25. So you got to have something in place, whether it's an LLC or a DBA, doing business as, that's how you become a sole proprietor, at least in the States is what it's called. So the bigger thing though is don't wait to get clients. Like if the LLC is standing in your way, do it right now so that you can start getting clients immediately after that, is what I would say. Just don't let it be like, oh, I'm getting my LLC in 3 weeks, I'm not going to do anything. Like just get your LLC right now.
And that's Benjamin in the system who went to the LA photo workshop.
Oh, gotcha.
There we go. I wanted to end it on the best note. Good sir.
Oh. Is that
the last one? That's a good ending point.
I'm like, is that the note, or you got another one
out there? I'm getting a little hungry. I'm gonna start talking weird.
We were on a meeting earlier, and you weren't on it too. It would be so funny if you were, Nicole, because you could be like really locked in here. But basically, Rod had a comma in a sentence, and Jared thought it was the end of the sentence and just rammed him in there and just stopped. And Rod was like, "Oh," and so that's kind of what I feel like just happened. But anyway, thanks to you two for being here, and that was a super good live.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. It was cool to see like the full circle loop of like him say that and then Karen be like, who the heck got him in the program? He's awesome.
So fun because I one last thing about that is I had said to him in our first call, I just can't wait to get your testimonial in 6 months. Actually, probably 5. And it's
still beat it by 1. It ended up being 4. That's so cool.
Like, I knew it.
That's a cool story. No, it's so good.
When you put things out there, it can happen. That's crazy.
So good.
And if you haven't chatted with our team, chat with us. Yeah. I mean, come on, you got to give a little talk on it. You can't we can't say all this and then not give them a way to talk with us, right?
Come hang out. We're fun. Right?
I'll put the link in the chat.
It's fun.
Yeah, we'd love to chat with you. Even if you don't feel like coaching is the move for you right now, we're not just here on the front end entirely to sell you coaching. Of course, we'd love to work with you, but the first thing we want to make sure is that you want to do this. I mean, you're going to have to commit and do this business, right? So we want to make sure you're wanting to start the business. We also want to make sure that you're in an area and you have a schedule that can make it work. My goal is not just to be like, yeah, everybody can join, because that's not the truth. Like, we want to talk to you about your schedule and what you're looking to accomplish and that kind of stuff. And so that's why we offer the call, is to get, a chance to talk with you and make sure this is going to work. So take advantage of this. We have a, great team that's here to help you, and we love the opportunity. So hit that link wherever it is, replaunch.com. Oh, you can't click it. I think you have to type it the old-fashioned way. But anyway, Mundell, Rod, thank you both. Everybody here, thanks for your time, and we'll see you soon, and hopefully on the inside. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Cue the epic music. I'm channeling my inner Justin Cyrus.